a young girl, 17-year-old girl, went through the YMCA and was in the locker room afterward. And unbeknownst to her, she was walking right into trouble because she was at a YMCA in California where the law requires them to let any person use the locker room or bathroom that aligns with their chosen gender identity. Okay, so a biological man can easily use the women's locker room if he just says, I'm a woman. And no questions are allowed to be asked. So it invites imposters. It absolutely invites imposters who aren't even trans. Any event. So this girl goes in there and sees a naked male penis staring at her. And you know what? She's a teenager. She was shocked. She was uncomfortable. And here she is describing the situation later.
As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. I could only think of my 5-year-old sister, who I bring to this gym during the summer to enjoy their water slides. This is the YMCA, where hundreds of children spend their summer afternoons in childcare camps. This is the YMCA where my little sister took gymnastics lessons. The locker room was supposed to be her safe haven to gossip with her friends and shower and change. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. As long as you are not a red flag on Megyn's Law, the California Sex Offender Registry, a grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA location here in Santee. I was made to feel as though I had done something wrong when I talked to people at the YMCA. Somehow, the indecent exposure of a male to a female minor was an inconvenience to them. The fact that we are now tailoring our privacy policies and bathroom laws around transgenders, ignoring the blatant threat to safety that this poses, is obscene. The safety of children, girls, is on the chopping block. So I implore you all to take action. With great privilege comes great responsibility.
How about Rebecca Phillips, age 17, standing up for herself and other kids? Carrie, what did you make of this whole controversy? Because the YMCA doesn't seem particularly concerned.
Oh my gosh. Britt and I had the privilege to talk to Rebecca, and she is a hero, first of all. 17 years old. She is a hero for telling her story. And what we're seeing is policies that pander to a gender ideology cult. Yes, that's what it is. It's a cult. And if you don't obey and take on their language, you are now the problem. And so, Rebecca, bravo to you. Bravo to your parents for raising such a strong woman to stand up. And this is a tipping point, Megyn. You know, this is where the rubber hits the road. And we have to decide what part of history do we want to be on? Do we want to pander? What I call the trans privilege. That's what it is. Because if it was just any other man in the women's locker room exposing his penis to a minor, he'd be arrested. But because he's a trans, he has privilege. Nothing happens to him. He escapes and walks away free. It's disgusting. It's disturbing, and it has to stop. This
incident, Britt, really brings the whole thing home, because even if you talk about bathroom use, okay, if there's a trans person goes into, let's say, a woman's bathroom, we don't see each other. It's not like being in a guy's room where they're all at the urinal. In the women's bathroom, we don't look at each other. Get your own stall. You might not ever know. But in a woman's locker room, it's a different story. And this really underscores the dangers. Yes, there are potential dangers of somebody misusing this law to take advantage of young girls, and also just the trauma that this can induce for a woman who is expecting to see only other women in there. And the YMCA, their initial reaction was to say to her dad, who called up complaining, she was never in any danger. She was safe. Oh, who are you, right, Britt, to tell me that? And then to say to her, that trans woman was perfectly entitled to be there. And basically, too bad if you didn't like it, because this is policy.
Yeah, isn't it so disturbing? I mean, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where policies begin to truly affect people. And we've been riding on this woke train for a long time, where we're saying that we'll go ahead and we'll be virtuous, and we'll say that men can be women, and, you know, no one gets hurt, you know, because it's just words. But now we're realizing that words are the guardrails of society. And when you start shifting words and tearing down meanings, you recreate society. And it is what we've been saying for a long time. This is a war on women, on girls, and really on societal order. And, what I wanted to point out with everything you were just saying, Megyn, is that in the Y's promise to serve all, right? All, creating an inclusive YMCA. In their general guidelines, it says regarding restroom and locker room accessibility, legal gender, physical genitalia, or gender expression do not dictate the use of gender segregated spaces. Trans individuals may select either locker room or restroom. Requiring someone to use a bathroom or other gendered area they do not identify with can be detrimental for a trans individual's well-being and safety, and puts the YMCA at risk for discrimination complaints. I read this and I was so floored because it's so blatant. It's propping up trans individuals as the ones whose well-being could be at risk. But what about the little Rebeccas and the little 5-year-olds who are in ballet and gymnastics? Doesn't their well-being matter? I mean, if truly we're all about creating an inclusive YMCA for all, then they have to be taken into account as well. And it seems that that's just been thrown out the window.
Well, what we're not even getting to yet is, what about the little girls who don't have their clothes on? I mean, that's what happens. You go to the YMCA, you take a swim. You go back to the girls' room. It's embarrassing enough to take all your clothes off when you're a young girl in front of your little girlfriends. Never mind if a biological man with his penis hanging out is walking by you. You would be humiliated. You would be embarrassed. You might be genuinely afraid and not understand what's happening. I mean, you're right. They're talking about safety of people who are trans, but what about the position they're putting these young ones in who don't even have the language yet to express how uncomfortable this makes them?
That's exactly right. And that's why it's time now for us to stare it in the face and decide what, as a society, our default position is going to be. Is our default position going to be that we're just going to do away with all societal order that we have established for years and years and years in this country, where women are protected, we've gained rights that we strived for hundreds of years? Are we going to just toss that all by the wayside now and say, well, hey, we're going to favor this new ideological cult coming in, and you're just going to have to put up with a penis being out in the locker room while your 5-year-old is showering? I mean, really, we're at the tipping point where we are going to have to decide and answer as a nation to this situation that we now find ourselves in. It's been brewing for a long time, and we're at the point now where we're going to have to give an answer on what is our default position.
It's been a while since you've heard me talking about the amazing extreme altitude wines from the Boller Private Wine Partnership, but they're back with an amazing offer for my audience. It's winter, and these flavors go great with any hearty meal. They do. You're going to love it. And with any meat you're going to have. They're unlike any wine you've ever tasted. Blackberry, leather, smoke, little dark cherry in there too. That makes everything better. The wines are almost impossible to get on your own. The producers deep in the Andes Mountains make limited quantities, you see. But today, I have an amazing offer that I have not had before. If you visit bonnerprivatewines.com/MKS, you will not only get wine for over 50% off, plus free shipping, you will also get a bonus bottle of small batch limited wine production from their exclusive wine cellar. That's 4 bottles for the price of 3. It's a deal that's hard to turn down if you are a wine lover like I am. They have cut out the middleman, so you will not pay a big markup. You just visit Bonner, BONNER, privatewines.com/MKS to claim your bonus bottle and become a part of America's most unique wine club. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.